Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Open Court Podcast. My name's Jack, and I'm here with one of my teammates, Mateo. So, Mateo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, my name is Matayo Grandin. I'm a freshman here at Plymouth State University. Um, I play football. Um, I've been playing football for it's actually only my fourth season. I played sixth, seventh, eighth grade and never touched a football in high school.
Really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
A lot of things or a lot of people, I should say, are surprised by that, but um, I missed it and I liked the competitiveness. So I decided I'd play here for Plymouth, and so here I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So a little bit more about me. After I graduated high school back in 2019, about 3 months after that, I joined the United States Marine Corps, and I did a total of 8 months of training on active duty, but I have a reserve contract. So after my active duty obligation, in the training that was required, I was able to come home and go to school, and then once a month, just go train for about 3 to 4 days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Thank you so much for your service, man. I know you're going to be going out here. That's going to be a grind. I'm
Yeah,
happy you're my teammate. You know, who inspired you to join the military?
I would have to say my dad. He definitely was the one who inspired me to join the military. He was also a Marine himself. He did 17 years before he was wounded in Iraq back in 2005. He's good now, but I would definitely say he's the one who inspired me to join the military.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so I'm just going to ask you some questions. I'll just kick it off with, what's been the hardest thing for you during COVID?
The hardest thing for me, and it was probably, I'd have to say, back when it first kind of started, probably, around the months March, April, when it was more fresh, people didn't really know what was going on. I was supposed to come home, and I was in training at this point. I was supposed to come home for about 4 days. 10 days.
Yeah.
The military put an overall travel ban because of COVID, so no military personnel could actually go home.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, right. And I had already been away from home for months and hadn't seen my family. And then not only that, but just being able to not be with my family during times where I could probably safely say people were most scared during those months because, again, there wasn't a lot of knowledge of what was going on and what this virus was. And so not being there for my family and worrying about them while I was away, probably the hardest part for me.
That's tough. That's right. Really hard. All right, moving along, we'll go with so how do you think the college has handled sports during COVID so far?
Well, I think they've done a pretty good job, in my opinion. I think it's what the women's field hockey, I think they actually had a season, right?
I don't know if they got a game. They might have gotten a game, maybe. Yeah, maybe a game, but they still got a game. I mean,
right, yeah, and I think there was a little bit of a positive. I think someone tested positive, but other than that, I think all sports. Even the football team has some positive tests, and they quarantine and they come back, and
yeah,
I think they've handled it pretty well, because compared to a lot of other schools too, around here and really across the country, I know a lot of schools just canceled sports, and I was very happy that Plymouth didn't do that, because I think that there are ways to work around the virus and how you can still get away with practicing and whatnot. But yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I think so. Top it off, I would say that Plymouth has definitely had a good handle on the whole sports and coronavirus.
Well, yeah, it's nice that we get tested every week too, so we know.
Right,
day
exactly.
In, day out. Yeah.
It's because it keeps you keeps an ease in your mind, you know.
Yep. All right. So, what's your opinion on practices? You know, should we have them? Should we not? Like, what's your thought on them?
So like I said, I think that there are ways to work around.
Yep.
You know, the coronavirus and what you can and can't do, and like I said, we've been having them, and they've been going pretty well.
Yeah, and especially the smaller groups and everything, right?
Right. Yeah. You know, we're all separated by positions, and we all have different times.
Yep.
You know, we're supposed to wear a mask, and in the weight room, as you know, we're wiping down everything after we use it.
Yeah.
So I think that practices is not a problem to have, and I think we should continue to have them as long as the virus doesn't have a terrible outbreak like it did back in the early months.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. We are moving in a good spot, I think, right now.
Right.
But so we know that you know, field hockey might have got that one game in. But do you think we could play football games in the spring? Like, do you think it would be a good idea?
I mean, yeah, I think that there is a lot of talk too on the news about coronavirus kind of coming, you know, kind of like a second wind, you know, it's starting to really hit the country again. And if it does get bad, we probably won't have a game or whatnot.
Yep.
But if things kind of stay to where they're at right now, I think that we most certainly can see a game in the spring.
Yeah.
I'd hope so as well, you know.
Like, see, this is the thing that we were talking about is here at Plymouth, we do tests every week, so we know who's tested. But like now, all these other schools are just random tests, so they don't really know, you know, who has it, who does. Like, it's not always perfect, and that's why I think these other schools might have to start doing that if we're gonna be playing against each other, you know.
Right, exactly, because we might be okay here, but when other schools start coming here or we're going over there, you know, it gets a little tricky because we don't know how they're running their programs.
Yep, 100%. All right, so the last one to wrap this up is, what's your opinion on masks? Do you think they're too strict around here?
Masks. I've heard, so you know, you hear everyone have their opinions on masks and different facts. What I did was I researched the masks and if they help or if they don't help, you know, and I've read both sides. They help, and then I've read that they don't really help.
Yep.
I think to a certain extent they have to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they are covering your face. Do I think that we need to have them on as much as? I mean, I don't know, because I just feel like...
Well, it's just like, you know, if you want to go to the bathroom on your floor, you have to take the mask just to go to the bathroom. Like, it's...
right.
We're all in the same group. If someone has it on our floor, 9 times out of 10, we're all going to get it. So it's like...
Right. And the thing is that I know that in the state of New Hampshire, at least, that they consider coming in contact with COVID as you're within less than 6 feet with someone who has COVID, and you're around that person less than 6 feet for at least 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the state of New Hampshire's defined come in contact with COVID-19.
Yeah.
You know, someone who's as a perfect example, I think it's kind of, you know, a little nonsense to have to go to the bathroom on your own floor wearing the mask for when you're only in there for a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, I know. I mean, they must have to. I mean, again, I'm not really 100% sure because I've read 2 different sides. They help, they don't help, but I think that,
you know, I laugh at how we can go into the dining hall and sit right next to each other with 6 people at the table without masks on.
Right, and then that's another thing. But we're in classrooms, and it's like we have to wear them there, and we're almost farther apart in classrooms than we are sitting right next to people in the dining hall.
I know. It's a crazy world, right?
It really is.
You know how Coach says it. Some not so good language, but that's okay.
Right. Well, yeah.
But it's true. It's true. It's true.
It's 100% true.
Yep.
you know, I just hope that, I hope the whole thing kind of goes away fairly soon, and kind of get back to the way they were going.
Yeah. Well, we're just waiting it out. Thanks, Mateo. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah. Thank you for having me do this podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So we'll see you back. Have a good one.